Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So I want to do this one on science. I said I was going to, and I've got another one coming, and then probably a couple more music ones. But this science thing, guys, this science thing's bugging me a little bit, and I kind of wanted to talk about it because I saw a commercial on TV a few weeks ago, and they said the most important part of science is convincing the world that what you're working on matters, or something very, very similar to that. And I can't find the commercial, by the way. I was going to post a link, and I tried wording it in many different ways, and I can't find it on YouTube, and I don't know. I just remember going, what? Like, what did they say? And I'd seen the commercial a couple times since, but of course each time I wasn't looking for it, so I still don't know exactly what they were advertising. So I don't know what ad to look for, but the most important part of science is convincing. Let's just stop right there. Convincing. Well, that isn't the science I knew. And I was good at science. I always scored really high on the PATs and the SATs and all, and my science classes, and what I know of science is that you do experiments and you conduct research and you keep very meticulous records, and if something suddenly doesn't work, then you have to start over. All right, but and I'm not trying to say that these are, I don't know, because I'm going to put a couple of links up here with some scientific frauds. One from Darwin, actually. A Piltdown man apparently was a fraud. All right. And several other frauds. There are fossil frauds, and some pig's teeth that they were claimed to be dinosaur teeth, and just and all sorts of these frauds, these. But why? Because that's not science, right? Because if your theory doesn't work, then you have to start over with a new hypothesis, correct? That's what I thought. Not you make something up and present it as evidence to prove your theory. Really? No. Now it's still listed that's. I mean, if you go look, I'll provide that link too. And science is still basically what I was taught, so they say. I hate to keep going back to the Earth model, but we're going back to the Earth models because with their 24-hour, and I can't find the thing I was watching, but it was one of the things I thought of years and years ago. But noon, if you were on this side of the sun and it was noon and you rotated once every 24 hours, by the time you got to this side of the sun, you'd still be facing the same way at noon, but it'd be midnight now, wouldn't it? But apparently they fudged some numbers and made the day a little bit longer or shorter, I think longer. And then every 4 years there's a leap year with only 28 days in February to make up for that or something. But that's fudging your numbers. That's not figuring out how it actually works. That And again, there's all sorts of problems with that. You couldn't have still standing water if you ever spin water in a bucket. I mean, it's just another thing that should have been started over, but it wasn't. They fudged some numbers, and now, oh, this works, so we'll just do it this way. It wasn't. Go back to the moon landing. Well, we said we were going to go to the moon, but then we find out we can't. So you start over. That's science. you start over. Well, we said we were going to do it, but you know what? We can't right now because there's some screwed up stuff out there. We can't get through this radiation for starters. But no, we make something up and put it on film and present it as, hey, we went to the moon. Well, that presents you problems 50 years later when you can't go back, right? This doesn't seem like the science I remember, all of it. Like, and there, I'm going to list again several examples. The most important part of science is convincing the world that what you're working on matters. It is. I thought the most important part of science was proving stuff right or wrong. Right or wrong, by the way. I mean, not just right or wrong. You could prove, if you prove a theory wrong, I mean, that should be just as important as proving a theory right, but it isn't. Apparently, that's not how their pay scale works, guys. But it's insane. So I'm going to leave it at that. Science seems different to me than what I was taught in school, although it's still defined the same. I mean, it just seems to be practiced differently. And I think that's a little weird. I don't know if it's a Mandela effect. Maybe it was always practiced weird and I just didn't know it because I was so into it. And now I'm question everything, and when something looks screwy, then it's probably screwy, and I'm looking at it now, not just accepting things for what they're said to be. So um, that's it, guys. You can thumb me up if you think science seems a little weird to you with all the fakery and fudgery. And I guess you can thumb me right down if it's always been that way, or always, I mean, I don't know that it was ever supposed to be that way, was it? I don't know. I'm welcoming people's comments and suggestions, and so that's it. Um, and hopefully, I presented this correctly. And I do have some more videos to come, and that I have planned actually. Just haven't had time to do them. So anyway, thanks for all your comments. Thanks for your thumbs up, thumbs down, subscriptions. We appreciate them all. Up to over 120 now, I think 122, so that's awesome. More than I ever thought we'd get. And I hope we're helping out, and I hope we're getting somewhere with this. And for now, have a great rest of your night, guys.